On my
Oh,
end, it says host.
we're recording now, so go ahead and request recording and I'll allow you if you
You said okay, right?
yeah, just
Okay,
but you have to hit your record button too.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, it
Huh.
says recording.
That's so weird. Okay, because it didn't ask my permission or all right. Okay. Well, everybody's gonna get to hear all this because I don't know how to edit videos. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Spiritual Growth Journeys. How are you all doing today? Hopefully, not getting all full of fear and weirding out over this, all the crazy stuff going on, like three or more bridges collapsing. Apparently, three in the United States and one in Italy collapsed. In Rome, actually, they burned it down or blew it up or something. In Rome, all kinds of things going on. Earthquake, huge earthquake hits. New York, we're going to talk about that today because I asked about it. I asked about the Statue of Liberty thing that's going around the internet. I asked all kinds of questions. So today we are working with Yeshua, the Christ, my boss, and my soul family. And I have on board with me Medium Mikala, who's kind of in a way an adopted daughter because I was taking care of her in my last incarnation. I was kind of babysitting her quite a bit. And then on top of that, she's young enough to be my daughter. So I've been married longer than she's been on the earth. So she's like my adopted soul sister. We've had multiple incarnations together. So I have her on today. And so right now, what I'm going to do is first, I want to tell you a little bit about Mikala, and then I'm going to go over what information we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to be talking about the questions I asked Yeshua about what's been going on and also about the solar eclipse. All of you have been requesting on social media that I do a video about the solar eclipse. And that is why I asked Mikala on. So just to let you know, I'm going to let Mikala talk a little bit about herself in a minute and explain to you her story. But what I know about her is that she has been communicating with Yeshua literally since she was born or 3 years old, I guess. And Mikala, just to warn you all, if any of you come on here and hate on her about the way she talks or anything about her, I'm going to come after you. And the reason why is because I'm very protective of her. Mikala is in a wheelchair. She has cerebral palsy. She is handicapped. And if you harass handicapped people on my show or my channel, you will be very sorry. So I just wanted to put that warning out there. I put Mikala through my testing. I met up with Mikala. I've been slowly meeting up with all my soul family bit by bit by bit. I've been reuniting with my Sirius B soul family for the last several years. And Mikala is just another piece of my family puzzle. And we got together and I put her through my rigorous psychic testing because I don't trust any psychics on this planet. Most of them are a bunch of bunk. They're either scammers or they're controlled by entities, or they're lying, or they're just shams. And so every psychic that gets in my grasp, I will ask them a whole series of questions that I already know the answer to. And if they don't answer the questions, then they're not a psychic, they're a baloney is what they are. And Mikala, quite a while ago, a long time ago now, passed with flying colors times 1 million. And since then, her and I communicate all the time because she actually channels my boss. And now let me talk to you all about what I mean by channeling, because y'all may not understand what my impression of channeling is. I've talked about this multiple times on social media that I do not like channeling. I do not support people who do channeling. And let me tell you why. Because channeling as I know it, which I don't do, I do not do channeling other than channeling my own higher self and God. That's it. When you channel, you're allowing a being to come into your body, take over your speech, take over your brain, take over everything and speak through you. All kinds of entities and grays and reptilians and demons and things can manipulate you. And most of the people on social media who are channeling are controlled by entities they don't know they are. I'm not saying these people are necessarily bad. Some of them are frauds and scammers, and they know that they're frauds and scammers. But there are some that are unaware, and they think they're channeling Yeshua, or they think they're channeling Mary Magdalene, or they think they're channeling Valthor or Thorhan or some guy from outer space, or some extraterrestrial named Mimi, Cece, Poo Poo, whatever. I don't know, making up serious names. I'm being silly today. That they think they're channeling some entity, and they're really channeling something negative and nefarious, and they don't know, because these people, these beings, these negative beings can shapeshift and make themselves look like just about anything. They can also do what's called a holographic image, where a gray comes in, makes you think that he's Saint Germain, and he's not really Saint Germain, he's a gray. And I can see through them, because one of my psychic superpowers is when they try to come into my meditations, I see who they really are underneath the holograph. So they can put up a holograph of whoever they want to, and they can say, "Oh, I'm Yeshua, or I'm Jesus, whatever." And I'm like, "No, you're not. I see you. You're a gray. I can see you. Like, I can totally see you." And they're like, "No, I'm really." And I'm like, excuse me, I can see you. I can see your gray face and your big bug eyes. And yeah. So there's lots of people that are channeling these entities. And so I am not in agreement with the whole idea of trying to channel, like trying to learn how to channel, because of the fact that so many people are being infiltrated right now. Now, Medium Mikala is on my channel for a reason, and that is because she's the real deal. She is only channeling beings of love and light, like Yeshua and Miriam and Archangel Michael and a couple others. And she is extremely protected. Nobody's able to hop into her that doesn't belong there. And the reason, whoops, sorry. Nobody's able to hop into Mikala because Yeshua is with her every day, all the time. He's extremely protective of her because he's her soul family, and also because Mikala is not in a physically good situation on earth right now. Her physical body came into this incarnation and, experiencing all of this trauma and all this stuff she's going through. She also has the same problem I have, where her family does not support her, and her what we call her physical human family doesn't support her and thinks she's crazy. Just, like I go through the same stuff too. Her and I are both 100% kindred spirits. We're both in the same position. And Mikala just like oozes, and how do you want to say, she radiates and oozes unconditional love all over the place. Like, she's just 100%. I'm going to make her blush here probably, but she's just 100% sweetness.
You're gonna make me cry, actually.
Huh?
You're gonna make me cry, actually.
Oh, I don't want to make you cry, but she's just pure unconditional love. And that's why I'm telling you, if anybody, I'm going to have her actually channel. We're going to have Yeshua come into Mikala and speak to you through her. And I want you all to know that Mikala just started, she's been on Facebook doing live videos, channeling for a very long time, but she recently started her own YouTube channel, which I will put in the description below. And I want you all to go follow her YouTube and start watching all her videos. And here's why. Because every time he's speaking through her, and I'm going to get emotional, is because he's giving sermons like he did when I knew him and when I walked with him. And every time I listen to her and she's speaking, and she, by the way, she doesn't remember or know anything she's saying. So when he takes her over, she steps aside and she doesn't remember or know what he's saying. So she winds up having to watch the videos after they've been recorded to see what she says. And when she does private sessions with people, which she just recently started doing, she doesn't have a business, she doesn't have a website. She just helps people out of the goodness of her heart. She's always helped people out of the goodness of her heart whenever she can. And when she does that, if you do not record the session or you do not take notes, you're going to be in doo-doo, because she doesn't remember what she says when he comes in there. Okay. So you need, when you work with her, which I hope you will work with her in the future, if you want to talk to him directly, like you actually want to have a conversation with him, you're going to have to do it through her, because I don't allow anyone to come into my body. I just don't. I have a rule. I don't care if it's him. I don't care if it's Babaji or Buddha or Kuan Yin. They're not coming in. Okay. This is my body. I belong here. Nobody else gets to come in except my own higher self. That's it. And God. But Mikala and him had a pre-arrangement for her to do this work with him before she came in. They had this agreement and this contract to do this. Okay. So today we're going to talk about, I had a chat with him last night because I have conversations with him. I don't channel him. I talk to him. And I had this conversation with him last night. So I'm going to go over what I heard from him, what I asked him and what I got. And then I'm going to let Mikala, first of all, tell you a little bit about her story and how she got to know him and how she got to do all this channeling and work with these beautiful beings. And then we're going to have him come through her to talk to you all about what is going to really happen on the 8th, what you need to know as far as what effect this event has on the entire planet, on the ascension, what you need to do to prepare for it, what should you be doing that day, all of it. Okay, we're gonna let him speak. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about that he said is and I've told you all this on social media, on Facebook already, and on past videos, that there were going to be earthquakes. I've been talking about this for a while, and I had predicted the New York earthquake a long time ago. I said there were going to be earthquakes in New York. I said this back a year ago or whatever, that there will be earthquakes in New York. I've also predicted California is going to get a big one. We're still waiting for that. But I asked him last night, I said, what caused the earthquake in New York? What caused it? Okay, it was a 4.9 earthquake. It hit New York and New Jersey. And I said, what caused it? And he said it was caused by high frequencies used by military to collapse the trafficking tunnels and dumps. Okay, and Mikala, I checked with her and she agreed. In fact, I went over all this information with her and him, and they were in full agreement on all of it. They were in full agreement. And so the other thing I asked is, there's pictures of the Statue of Liberty all over social media. And it's hit by light. It was hit by lightning on the 4th, I think the 4th, 4-4, I think the 4-4 gateway, or 4-3, I don't remember. So I asked I said, first of all, was that really a lightning strike and not a directed energy weapon? Because they have those that look like lightning. And he said, it was lightning. And I said, who did it? And he said, God. And I said, why? And he said that God was teaching all of the rude people a lesson. So it's kind of a warning to America. It's basically a warning to America. So just say that you've all been placed on notice, all of you. And nobody is infallible. Nobody is perfect out there, including myself. We're all accountable for our behavior, whether it's walking by a homeless person on the street and ignoring them, or whatever it is that you do every day in your life. Every single human on this earth is accountable for our behavior right now. And we've all been put on alert. So that was a lesson to America, because America has been going to hell for a very long time. They have a Baphomet statue in the front of a church right in the middle of Alabama, and one of the, I think it's whatever the capital of Alabama or whatever. They have this Baphomet statue they put right in front of a church. This is the kind of stuff that goes on all over this country, is doing satanic stuff, satanic statues, getting rid of Christianity out of the schools, but instead pushing the trans movement, and instead pushing atheism, instead pushing Islam and other things that are non-Christian in the school system. You know, you're not allowed to be Jewish or Christian, but they're going to push Islam and atheism and Satanism in the schools. So this country's been going to hell for a very long time, through the government, through everything, the food system, the water system, everything is just, it's just all spoiled. It's all ruined. And this Liberty getting struck, Statue of Liberty, by the lightning is kind of like, you've been warned. Okay. The other thing I asked about is there going to be an election in November? And the answer was no election. It will not happen, because there's going to be, and this is what he said, this is his words, He said global demolition, and don't shoot the messenger, y'all. This is not me. This is his words. Global demolition of the tyrannical system. And when I asked Mikala, and Yeshua was standing right next to her when I asked her earlier, and he said, yep, that's exactly what I said. Global demolition of the tyrannical system. He told the same thing to her too, by the way, before her and I got on the phone and talked about this. He had already announced that to her and said that. So I asked him, what message do you have for people for the 8th, for this eclipse, which is 2 days from now? And he said, number one, do not have any fear. And he said, number two, get outside and talk to the trees because the trees are attached to Mother Gaia and they have consciousness. I've talked about this before in many other videos, that the trees are conscious beings and they're connected to the energy and frequency of all the other trees all over the planet. They all communicate to each other and they're all symbiotically attached to each other through that energy system of Mother Gaia. And so when you're talking to the trees, you're talking to Mother Gaia and you're talking to the earth. You can also sit your butt on the ground, because when I asked him for myself personally what he wanted me to do, he said, I want you to sit on the grass. And I said, well, what if it's raining? And he said, if it's raining, I want you to put your back up against a tree and I want you to meditate there for an hour. So I've been told I need to meditate from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. outside tomorrow. So I mean, on Monday. So that is what I'm doing. And I asked for you, what else? And he said he wants you to, and this is his words again, so don't shoot the messenger, you know, and basically what he said is go help street people and give them the love they deserve. And I said, what do you mean by street people? Do you mean the homeless? And he said, yes. And I said, what do you mean by the love they deserve? And he said, if you're willing to give them a hug, if you live by a city and you can go in where there's homeless people, give them a hug, hand them out food. He wants us handing out food, blankets, hygiene, toiletries, self-care items, to help them out. And that's the way we give them love, because we give them help, we give them encouragement, maybe give them some words of encouragement, tell them that you're praying for them, you know, lift them up, say something nice to them to make them feel good about themselves. And if you're willing to hug them and you're not worried about getting diseases or this or that, some people won't go near homeless people because they're worried they're going to get some sort of a disease. You know, I don't think God works that way. I think if you give somebody a hug, you're not going to get a disease. So that is what Yeshua did. And I want you to understand who Yeshua is. When he was walking this earth, he was constantly helping the poor, constantly. Okay. He's all about helping the poor and impoverished. And that is the one thing that the Catholic Church, actually, I was Catholic up until a few years ago. The one good thing that the Catholic Church does is they're really into helping the poor. They have a lot of charities for the poor, and that is one thing that they do good. We have to point out good things about people, not just the bad and evil things about people. And we know the evil, dark sides of the church, but one of the best sides of the church that's positive is the fact that Catholic people are always doing charity work all the time, and especially for the poor and the homeless. So that is something that's very important to Yeshua. So I asked what else he wanted everybody to do, and he said, pray to God for love to be given to everyone on the earth. That's what he said. He said, pray to God for love to be given to everyone on the earth. He said there's going to be a possible really large earthquake in the Great Lakes area. That is not 100% guaranteed because there are forces at hand that are trying to mitigate this. But as of this timeline, it's extremely possible there will be a ginormous earthquake on what's called, I think, the Madrid fault line. I think it's called the Madrid fault. They're going to have a big earthquake, and unless it gets intervened or mitigated. But as he says, have no fear, have no fear. He kept telling me that throughout this whole conversation I was having with him, is have no fear. And I said, what else should people do? And he said, have 6 weeks of food and water. ready. He said 6 weeks. And I said, well, what about people who are poor or homeless or people who are elderly or people who are disabled? Like, I mean, Mikala here, who's disabled, has her family that she's living with, so they can take care of her. But what about all the disabled people that are all by themselves? And he said, if they don't have the 6 weeks of food and water, they will be helped by the military, National Guard, and servicemen and women. That was what he said. He said they will be out helping people. And I said, what else do you want everybody to know today? And he said, tell them Yeshua sends his love to everyone on earth. Sorry, I'm going to get like really emotional here. Sorry, I'm like getting emotional. Okay. He said he sends his love to everyone on earth, and he said, do not fear. And then also my higher self came in and said that the events that are going to be happening now and up until the end of this year have to happen in order to propel us into the new earth. So just know that everything that's happening has to happen. And I'm going to give the floor over to Mikala. Mikala, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And
I think you pretty much covered it in the first part when you were talking about me. It was so beautiful. Thank you for having me on here, though.
you're
It's so
welcome.
beautiful that you did it so perfectly. But
Sorry, I'm
when
adjusting my back. My back's hurting. Sorry. Go
not too much.
ahead. Ugh. Okay, back just went crack, crack, crack all the way up. Oh my God. Okay, go ahead. I am so sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's okay. You did it perfectly well. I mean, you summed me up just like that within your introduction. So I started working with Yeshua in this incarnation when the vehicle of the body was two and a half. Two and a half. And he came to me like the picture that is behind you, right there on my left, but your right probably, right there. And I knew instantly who it was, and I began to sob as a little girl. And I'm going to get emotional now. And he had begun working with me, and he said, are you ready to help me, beloved? And I said, help you do what? Because I had forgotten about the contract that we signed together. And he said, are you ready to help me? And I said, I'll help you do anything. I love you. And I signed up for it. So years and years later, here I am doing his work in the best way possible for humanity. Sometimes it is hard because there are going to be brothers and sisters that judge you and say you shouldn't say or you shouldn't do and point fingers at you. But as he's often told both of us, one need not judge. And this is what he's often said. Because when you judge someone, you're not looking at the heart of Christ. You're looking at the fear and the egoic consciousness. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing he told me a very long time ago. So thank you for having us on here with you.
Well,
We've
thank
had
you.
a journey to be on here together. Took us a little while to get here, but here we are.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on here. And I've actually been meaning to have you on for a while, but I've been busy with life as usual and my family. But I'm so glad that you were able to take your time out of your day today to join me and do this.
Of
So,
course.
yeah.
That's what we do. We help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he wants us to do. Help each other in the heart, help each other in the oneness, help each other remember the truth, and be in love and light.
Absolutely. And service.
In service to humanity.
Yep.
For the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can restore Mother Tara to her former glory, as he called it.
Yep. Yep,
So that's
absolutely.
what we are here to do.
Yeah, that's funny because a lot of times he speaks to you the same way he speaks to me. He doesn't talk the way we do. He talks more kind of old-fashioned terms.
Old school, old
Yeah,
school is
he
what I
talks old school, his wording and stuff like that. And And a lot of times when you say stuff that he said to you, I just kind of laughed in my head because he said the same thing to me in the
And to
same
me,
way,
yeah.
like he said it exactly the same way. And I just kind of,
Right. And the thing for me is most channels remember what they say, or some have some connection with him, so they're half in the body and half not. And I'm completely out of the body. So I don't remember nothing that he's saying until I listen to it on playback, like everybody else. And I mean, I'm surprised and I'm sitting there sobbing like you are, and I'm just like, oh my God. And that's how I learn, just like all of you.
yeah. Yeah. And it's just like listening to a sermon for me. When I listen to your videos, I get emotional on every video because I feel like I'm literally there, like I was 2000 years ago, listening to
Yeah.
him give us
It,
like a
it,
sermon. And it just
it's a
really,
beautiful feeling.
yeah. And it just,
At least for
because
me,
I just cry every time because I get taken back to my past incarnation, and where I'm listening, I'm in the audience and I'm listening to him speak. And
that's
it's
the
just,
same way I feel when I listen to it on playback, and I
yeah.
can't breathe, and I'm like sobbing.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, every time I watch your videos, I have to have a big box of tissue, like right there, because I get so emotional.
But we do have our Facebook group, Christ Phoenix Rising Academy, and our YouTube channel if you want to go over there and check it out.
Yep,
You can see that.
and I will post both. I'll
Link.
post your Facebook group, your private Facebook group, which is, yeah, Christ Phoenix Rising, and I will also post your YouTube channel in the description.
This is something that we both have been wanting to do for a while. This is why we've done so many videos mentioning each other. You
Mm-hmm.
and I. We have mentioned each other several times. And they're
Yep.
like, when are you going to do a video with Kimberly? I'm like, I don't know. So now we've gotten the chance to do it. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm just like so excited. So you've been talking to him, and there's other beings who you also talk to too. So do you want to tell everyone else who you've had the pleasure of meeting and having conversations with on the other side there?
Of course, there's a whole bunch of them, but one of the ones, of course, is Yeshua, my
Mhm.
my boss as well, and also Archangel Michael and Mother Miriam and Miriam and Magdala as well. I'm going to cry, woo, because they're all right here. Um, and they're all sending you love and peace and light in this time of darkness, is what they call it. But I
Awesome.
also channel the real Saint Germain
Not the
and
phony one.
a few others.
Not the phony one, right? The real one.
That's a funny one. And maybe if Yeshua wants to, that's something he could maybe address as to why brothers and sisters are getting so much into the phony, as you call them, ones instead of the real ones, and how to differentiate between the two.
Yeah. That would be great if he could address that. And yeah, if we could have him address those two things, and then about what to, the eighth, as far as what it's going to do for the world, how that's going to change everything. That would be
And I just
great.
want everyone that you may want to get tissues before we start, because he'll make both of us cry. So let's get
Mhm.
tissues now.
Yeah, I'm all ready to go. So
Hope you're ready.
yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
And remember, I don't know what he's going to say. So, as we often say at the Academy, take it or leave it. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And
Mhm.
yes, Sister Kimberly is part of the Academy. Thank you for
Yep.
being a part of it.
Yep. Thank you for having me in there. I appreciate that.
Well, you're part
Absolutely.
of the family, so
Yeah.
we had to have our family together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had like, I don't know how many, oh my gosh, multiple incarnations together. So a
Yeah.
lot
And
of past lives
the
together.
reason why we're here is to
Yeah.
help humanity, to
Yep.
give humanity peace, love, and light, and help them to remember the truth that lies within them.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. We are here to remind them of who they really are. as
their truth,
divine beings, as gods, as Yeshua said, ye are gods. Remember, he said that ye are gods, and we are here to remind everybody that of who they are, who they really are.
As he would say, your God is self.
Yep. God is self. Yep. Absolutely. So I know I'm going to let you go ahead and do what you do. So before Mikala does any channeling, she always does a whole bunch of protection prayers around it so that we don't
Just to
have any
protect all of you.
interference. Hmm?
Just to protect all of you from
Yeah.
any infiltration or darkness.
Yep. And you as well,
Your
though.
conception of light and love
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
Okay, so if you want to say it with me or just agree in your head, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay,
Here we go.
here we go. Okay. First, I call upon Archangel Michael or Christ Michael. Deflate your multi-layered, multi-dimensional shield of peace, light, love, oneness, truth, strength, and divine protection within and around the mind, body, and spirit of myself, Mikala, and Sister Kimberly, and our viewers at this time, with the purest intention of light and love, and no infiltration shall be given permission, as we do not consent, do not consent, do not consent. Next, I will call upon Father, Mother, God, loving source of all, to abide with all of us, your perfect divine children, with light, love, peace, oneness, truth, strength, and divine protection. For I and my Father are one. Next, I call upon Sananda, Yeshua, the Christ, to abide with us, myself, Mikala, and Sister Kimberly, and our followers at this time, with divine protection, support, strength, and truth and love, as only truth shall be unveiled. And next, I will call upon Archangel Zadkiel, transcend and transmute all dark demonic infiltration or entities from the mind, body, and spirit, as well as this beautiful technology we're using, with the purest intention of light and love. And so it is.
So it is.
Okay. So now I'm just going to hand the floor over to Yeshua, and I will see you guys later. And before we do that, I just want to point out I am an open eye channel. Some people close their eyes when they channel, but I'm an open eye channel, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just want to warn everybody.
I know that about you, but they don't know that about you. So yeah.
So that's why I was saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he speaks different than I do. I say love a lot, and he'll speak different. So, use your own discernment when you tune into the message. Don't choose the message, just listen to the message of light and love.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Yeshua, the floor is all yours. Indeed, greetings unto you, beloved and holy children of light divine. I am your beloved brother and friend and equal, the one you've known simply as Yeshua the Christ. And I have indeed, out of my infinite freedom of choice, came forth to love you, to honor you and embrace all that which you are, indeed as I am. At this time, beloveds, you are, shall we say, contemplating your certain situation upon your holy mother, the earth. You are living in fear. You are living in unsureness, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? You are living in your freaking out stage, as this one Mikala would call it. You are indeed freaking out because you are in fear. And when one lives in fear, you intentionally increase that which is fear. But one need not fear, but rather be in that state of love, that which you are, as indeed I am. Does that make sense for you, beloveds? It is in this light and the love that we bring forth these messages to our beloved Mikala and our beloved Kimberly to speak to you today, beloved ones, through the recognition of the remembrance of truth and of oneness, that which one Yeshua taught so long ago in your time and space of perception 2,000 years ago. This indeed is nothing new, dear ones, for your planet is evolving into a greater consciousness and a greater shift. But one need not fear, but only abide in light and love that which you are. And the light and love is the healer of all things. For love heals all things, trusts all things, allows all things, and accepts all things, dear ones. For that indeed is what you are. Does that make sense for you? This is a time of deep reflection upon your Holy Mother, the Earth. These inhabitants that are slowly deciding whether to stay in their level of consciousness or go is having to come to a decision, dear ones, to, should we say, decide whether or not to be of love and of service to humanity or to leave the planet, dear one, and go to another third density planet. For those dark ones are being slowly, should we say, taken out. They are slowly being recycled to another third density planet. They will not be returning here, dear ones. But yes, as our beloved Sister Kimberly had said to all of you, precious souls of light, there are going to be floods as you would perceive them. There are going to be, should we say, different earthquakes that are arising within your awareness, dear ones. This is not meant to cause fear, but an awareness of how one's power is in control to help society gain their power back. For nothing or no one is outside of you, dear ones. You have the power within you. Does that make sense for you? You have everything you need within you. This is causing one society to crumble because you are not thinking as a collective consciousness of the Christ heart that what you are. You are perceiving from fear and illusion and separation, therefore strengthening fear. But one need only to strengthen that love that what you are. This is something that which is hard for many upon your planet, beloved brothers and sisters, to comprehend, for you are programmed to perceive a certain way, dear one. Are you not? You are programmed to perceive from fear and justification and your mind control state of consciousness, that what you have been programmed to believe and perceive from. But rather than perceive from fear, perceive from light and love, that what you are. When you see your news medias and give it attention, it is therefore breaking your attention from the reality of that love that you are, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? This is why they call it breaking news. It breaks your attention from the truth that what you are and leads you back into fear. Giving everyone, shall we say, the panic mode. Does that make sense for you? They are giving you a reason to fear. For the dark ones want the loving light beings that are light workers to be in fear. But one need only remember your own divine power and your own truth that lies in all creation, that which you are an aspect of. Ye are God, you are God. No one or no thing is outside of you. Does that make sense for you? This is indeed your time of remembering the power within you. All these, per se, destructive inhabitants that you are experiencing upon your planet, such as earthquakes or tsunamis or any of destruction has to happen to allow beloved brothers and sisters to, shall we say, remember their power is in their hands. You have the power as a collective consciousness to change the outcome from fear and deception and distress or light and love. You have that power. This is why this has to happen, so that one can stand firm in one's truth and one's power to remember to stand together as a collective consciousness of Christ, that what you are. And one Yeshua is not talking about myself, dear ones, but one is talking about the Christ consciousness that lies within all beings of love and light. It is not simply one Yeshua as the only Christ. For all of you, beloveds, have the potential to be Christ. For indeed, that is what you are. You are part of the Christ consciousness, the Father, Mother, God, Source, Prime Creator that you are. Does that make sense for you? It is in truth time for you to tap into your own divinity. And one need not look for, as this one Mikala would say, a middleman to go to. For you have the potential, and the same power that dwells within me also dwells within you, precious ones. You have the gift to connect with Father, Mother, God, that all things are within you. All that is within you. It is indeed that simple. You have that ability. When one doubts oneself, one is in fear or separation or struggle or strife, you are simply doubting your God, Goddess self. We ask, beloved ones, that you hold yourself in the utmost love, that which we do, as your divine brothers and sisters, that shower you with attention and love and appreciation at this time. For you are not alone, dear ones. There are many beings upon your planet of love and light that consistently are with you and remind you of the truth that lies within you. This indeed is what your society has taught you to go out of your way, as they would perceive it, to speak to someone other than you, rather than going within to yourself. Does that make sense for you? They want you to go to them, but rather, assuredly, I say unto you, one need only go within and listen to that still small voice of that perfect love and light that which you are, indeed as I am. This is your time, dear ones, to remember the essence of the allness, the oneness that you are. No one can take the power from you. You have your own power. You have to be willing to tap into your highest power, dear one. For this planet is merely made in error, dear one. And by this we mean your planet was created in error, thinking from fear rather than light and love. Your planet, however, was designed to, shall we say, reel you back into the truth that what you are, but instead has done its job promoting fear and separation. But assuredly, dear ones, there is indeed no separation. That is the truth behind the statement of, I and my Father are one. You indeed are the Father. The Father, Mother, God is you, and you are indeed that. Does that make sense for you, dear ones? This is your time of remembrance and deep reflection. One need only to continue one's spiritual practices of meditation, prayer, and diligence to do what you will be capable of doing for other beloved brothers and sisters. Give love, be love, receive love, own love, give it freely. For that is the only truth that you can give, that you have unconditional amounts of. For ye are love. You can only give what you have, dear ones. Give that love give that light that you are, and let others see the Christ within you as we see it within you, dear ones. Does that make sense for you, dear ones? It is your time of, shall we say, deep understanding of what your power can bring you, dear one. Everything that you decree, so it shall be. And this simply means what you decree out the mouth becomes so. So in truth, precious ones, and please listen carefully, when you speak out of fear and you say things like, I do not have, or I cannot, or I do not have, or I do not want, or you are simply choosing to identify with the fear rather than love. You have everything that you need within you. There is nothing that God can't manifest, and ye are God. So therefore, beloveds, you can manifest anything you desire with the purest intention of light and love. For that indeed is the 4 keys to the kingdom. Intention, allowance, acceptance, and desire, dear one. This is the 4 keys to the kingdom. And where is the kingdom, queendom, but rather within you? It is not some far off land that you're going to go to in an abyss that causes you to, shall we say, disappear off the earth, but it is the consciousness within you of oneness. That is the Father, Mother, God, what you have termed Abba. And you've heard me say Abba many times, dear ones. This is indeed your time to reclaim your power. This is why indeed your planet is experiencing such upheaval, so that one may remember one's power and stand firm in truth in it, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? It is indeed that simple. The power is in your hands, dear ones. Does that make sense for you? And beloved, I know you have a question, so we're gonna.
Yeah, the question, Yeshua, that I want you to explain to everybody is, what is this event, the solar eclipse that is happening on Monday? How is this going to be a catalyst, or what is this going to do for the earth? How is it going to change things? What is it going to create for us, or shift, or change? What is the purpose of all this, and what can we expect as a result of this event?
This is a question, beloved, that we will happily answer, because most of your beloved brothers and sisters have been indeed asking us this over and over and over and over again, dear one, including yourself. And this is a twofold meaning, dear one. For those mediums such as yourself and Mikala, the ones that do the will of our Father, Mother, God, will receive healing for the body and be more in tune with their crystalline body that is to come in 5 density consciousness. But those that are of darkness and are evil, shall we say, will be obliterated and leaving this planet and not be returning to this planet, but on another planet, dear one. This will increase as more love and light flows in. Because as we've often said through this, our beloved, you have to get rid of the old to make room for the new. And this is what is indeed occurring upon your Holy Mother, the Earth. This is why their beloved brothers and sisters of light surround you and help the truth to be spoken once again, dear one. Because your Mother Tara has indeed been going through some changes herself, for she too is energy. She is going through changes as well, dear ones. There is no difference between one Yeshua and you, dear one. Ye are God. You are capable of anything and everything. Does that make sense, dear one?
Yes.
And this is nothing to fear. For when you And we speak of the collective, not just one of you, but we speak of the collective when you choose to focus your attention on only that which is real. Teach only love, do only love, be only love, for that is what you are. You intensify that love around the globe. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
One need not focus on the fear and manifesting fear, because when you focus on it, you intensify it. You draw it to you. And this is what your planet is not fully integrating the understanding of their own power yet, beloved. And this is why all this dark things has to happen to get your beloved brothers and sisters on board to the awakening. For there are only a small percentage awakened to the truth. Many will arise to their Christ self in their own truth, but in their own way, in divine timing. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
Therefore, beloved one, when we speak to this, our beloved, and or you, we do with gratitude and love and appreciation for all of our beloved brothers and sisters in humanity. We do so deeply because we love this planet and her inhabitants of love and light that consistently do the will of our Father, Mother, God. There is no separation. And this is what we are grateful for, precious ones. We have no voice unless you give us a voice. And we thank you for that, precious ones. Is there any other questions, dear one?
Yes. My big question is, has to do with some other psychics out there have said, some of them have said that it's not a real solar eclipse, that it's not the moon blocking the sun, it's the black sun blocking the sun. Other people have made statements that it's going to be a giant mothership blocking the sun, and that they're going to spray lots of chemtrails so you can't see that happening. So my question is this a real solar eclipse with the moon blocking the sun? Because there's people that are saying that that's not possible because they're not in the right position for that to happen. Or is this the black sun? Is it a ship? Is it the sun? I mean, what exactly is happening?
Indeed, dear one, there is a real eclipse that is going to happen on your time of your 8th of 2024. This is a real thing. The ones that are claiming to, shall we say, channel or psychic are simply hoping that it will not happen and will go their way. Does that make sense for you? They're hoping that if they perceive that it will not be a real thing, that it won't be a real thing. They're hoping and praying that if we don't say it or speak about it, it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense for you, dear one?
Yes. Yes. Some of them are getting information from other beings telling them this information. So are they being tricked?
Indeed, some of them indeed are being tricked, dear one, because some of them don't know how to, shall we say, shield themselves from entities or energies that are, shall we say, not of the light. But you yourself know, and this one Mikala would know, because both of you do so much protecting around the mind, body, and spirit. You know how precious the body is, for the body is merely the temple of the Father, Mother, God, that what you are. The body is a temple of love. For it is important to, should we say, care for the body. It doesn't mean you are the body. It means you need to care for the body, because the body is precious, dear ones. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense for you?
Yes, absolutely. So is there going to be or I guess the question is, what percentage of the human population is going to be initially healed and upgraded with this first event that we have? Because you've told me before that that it's going in increments. It's not like all happening at the same time. It's, yeah.
It is going to be in small increments as we have spoken to you and to this one, our beloved. It's not going to be a, shall we say, a one-hit wonder. It's going to be small increments. It's going to be small increments, dear one, so that your society will not be fully ready for what is to come. But they must love it with open arms, with compassion, tenderness, and mercy. One must only start with the remembrance of oneself, forgiving oneself for the misperception of missing the mark of love. For when you miss the mark, you are simply not thinking with the mind of God. You are not thinking with love. You are thinking with fear. Does that make sense for you? So indeed, dear one, this is a test of how you can integrate your true power and your true self within your beingness. For indeed, this has to happen, dear one. But one need not run away in fear and go, this is not going to happen. If I don't think about it, it won't happen. For indeed, precious one, it will happen. Just because you don't perceive it and see it with the physical eyes doesn't mean it won't happen, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything that you want to share, Yeshua, with everybody besides what I went over that I asked you last night, as far as trying to go out and help some of the homeless people and give them a little love and connecting with the trees and nature, getting out into nature and praying and meditating? Is there any other important things that you want to tell people to do, on the 8th for this event that we are going through?
First of all, beloved, there are many things that which one can do, but we will say off and on to you through this, our beloved, that when one prays to one Yeshua, you are indeed praying to me, but the prayers go into the collective consciousness. They don't go to me directly, dear one. For I cannot be, should we say, with all of you at one time. I have the ability to, should we say, bilocate, which means split my consciousness into fractals so I can be where I'm needed with whoever needs me. That does not mean I'm with everyone at one time. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
This means that I am with those that have been with me throughout many incarnations, many lifetimes, etc., for the reason of bringing back the truth, that which was taken from your holy mother, the earth, by the dark ones, as you perceive them to be. Does that make sense, beloved?
Yes. So when people pray in your name, it's the power of the name Yeshua that when they're invoking that, it has a certain frequency to it, and they're basically adding that frequency to their prayer.
Indeed, but some of them, beloved one, will pray to the Jesus character, which is not one Yeshua that they are praying to. They are praying to a dark force that is Zeus. They are not praying to one Yeshua. But society has corrupted the mind of man so that they will perceive that one Yeshua is going to listen when you speak the name of the J name, as Mikala will call it, because she doesn't even like saying that name. But there is more power in the name of Yeshua. For indeed, precious ones, the name Yeshua is salvation. That is my name, dear ones. This does not mean I am your salvation, for you indeed are your own salvation. You are your own savior.
Yep.
I am not your savior, precious ones. How you can save yourself is your correction of the mind, of misperception. Does that make sense for you, beloved?
Yep. I already knew this, but I want everybody else to know this.
both of you, our beloved Mikala and you, already know this, dear one. For you have had many incarnations with us. So therefore, you already know this information. But we want to make the public aware of the truth that is being spoken through the words of this beautiful vessel that we love. And we want the public's attention to be on their awareness of the power of prayer, interfocus, and meditation. For it is not about you, dear ones. It is about the collective of the love and the returning of love, that which is being shown to you, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does. And in the beginning, Mikala said that she saw you standing behind me, and I can feel you because I know you're able to bilocate a certain number of times. And the whole time you've been speaking, I feel your presence so much behind me. I can like literally physically feel you here, and I know
right
you're
there,
there.
beloved. I'm right there behind you with my hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it very strong. And I've been sitting here the whole time just feeling this energy, and it's incredible. Yeshua, can you please share with everybody about this whole idea of bilocating, the fact that everybody thinks that billions of people can all pray to you and you're going to hear every one of them at the same time. That's not possible, but
This
the
is not
prayers are
possible,
being
dear one.
heard. Yeah, but they are being heard.
They are being heard, but they are not coming directly to me all in truth, dear one, because it's going into a collective pot, shall we say. It's going into a collective consciousness. And whoever is their prayer being directed toward will step forward. But I, one Yeshua, cannot be in, shall we say, everywhere all at once, because that is not how bilocation works.
Yep.
Bilocation simply means one Yeshua had been given the teaching through the Essenes and through the Druids, that which one had studied with, how to bilocate, how to split one's consciousness into fractals so that one can be with who they choose to be with. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. So what is the maximum number of times that a soul can split itself up and bilocate?
This indeed depends on your soul's consciousness, but normally, dear one, it only requires a small percentage. It is not a, shall we say, 100 times. It is more like your, shall we say, 80 times. But we cannot be in multiple places at once, dear one. Only with those that are open to our truth and have eyes to see and ears to hear can be with us and be one doing the will of our Father. And you, my darling one, have this gift and ability. But you sometimes, shall we say, doubt yourself. As this one does as well. But we will say unto you, beloved, do not doubt yourself, for you indeed are the real deal. You are, shall we say, stronger than you give yourself credit for. All of you have the same abilities as these beautiful souls do, but their ability to tap in to our energy frequency is greater because we have shared many incarnations with them.
Yep.
Does that make sense for you, dear one?
Makes sense for me. I don't know about everybody else listening to this video, but it makes sense to me.
Indeed, dear one. This is a time of contemplation. This is a time of going within. It's going to force your humanity to go within or go without, as this one Mikala would say, go within or go without. This is why indeed this has to happen, dear one. Not to run in fear, but to embrace it with open arms of compassion, tenderness, and mercy.
No.
Does that make sense, dear one?
Yes. You told me last night, you said that there is not going to be an election because of global demolition of the tyrannical system. So do you feel that all of the bad systems, so when we say the negative health system, the negative financial system, the negative political system, the negative school system, do you feel, Yeshua, that they're all going to be collapsed by the end of this year, 2024?
They are indeed all going to be collapsed to make room for light and love. For they are of darkness, they are not of light and love. And therefore these darkness has to go. This is not something that Mikala would say, but one Yeshua would say, because she is of light and love, and so are we. So as she would say, do not shoot the messenger. But this indeed is what is going to have to arise within your beingness to shake up this planet, dear one, to get them to recognize that you have the power to change it with the power of the mind, body, and spirit if you choose.
Yep.
Power of consciousness. Does that make sense for you, dear one?
Yep. So would you say that 2025 and beyond, we would be rebuilding everything, restructuring everything on this planet?
We will give unto you this timeline, dear one. Yes. At the end of your 2024, beginning in November, you will see more changes for the greater good, shall we say. You will see more light and love coming in. You will see more beloved brothers and sisters, more appreciative of the truth. You will see more seekers. Seek and you shall find. That is what is going to happen gradually in divine timing. Everything is unfolding perfectly, dear one. It is only when man fears does man strengthen it. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does. You had said something to me the other day about CERN. What can you explain to everybody? Because a lot of people are in fear because the Dark Ones say they're going to turn the CERN Hadron Collider, which they've been using to let demons in from the fourth dimension and all sorts of bad things, switching the timelines, putting us on dark timelines. What do you believe, or what is going to happen to that on the 8th, when they tried to turn that on, or when they say they're trying to turn that on? Or does that even exist? Does CERN even exist anymore? Because I don't know if they're lying or what is going on.
Beloved, a lot of things that are upon your planet that have been spoken through your channels or media outlets are there to provoke fear and are there to, should we say, engage more beloved brothers and sisters in separation. Does that make sense for you? They are not promoting that which is light and love. They are giving power over to fear, but nothing has the power over you unless you give it power, dear one. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
The one need only to focus on love and light and stop running in fear, because the more you run in fear, the more fear is going to follow you. Does that make sense, dear one?
Yes, it makes sense. So are we on the one, what you told me, you talked to me a long time ago about what you called the singularity, or the one positive timeline? Are we on that fully right now?
Some upon your planet are, dear one, but some are not. The
Okay.
ones that are choosing to be of darkness or third density consciousness are still going to remain in third density consciousness, but not be on this timeline that which
Okay.
we are speaking about.
Okay.
They will continue to be on their own timeline.
All right.
But
That's what I figured.
most of you beloveds are on this beautiful timeline. Most of you, most of you are on this beautiful timeline. Some of you, however, are not. It is not a matter of who is better than the other, because assuredly I say unto you, all of you are equal in the eyes of the Father, Mother, God. Therefore, it doesn't matter how one gets to 5D. It only matters what you do to help yourself to get there with your prayers, meditation, affirmations, whatever you need to do for the body to get there. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. And you have told me in the past that every single soul in existence is on an ascension path, that every soul ascends unless they turn completely away from God, and they just like these cabal people that reincarnate over and over again, tormenting and torturing and murdering people. They are not included in that. But you had explained that all of the souls that serve the light are on the same ascension path together, but in different, everybody on their own time and in their own way. It's not a competition. We each have our own time that it takes us to get from A to B, and we're not all exactly equal in that, because it's unique to each person.
Indeed, this is why we have given you this information, dear one, because all of you that are ascending to 5 density, or this one Mikala would say love density consciousness, is working for the light and love. And this is your own journey as a soul's consciousness. It is not a competition, as you say, beloved. It is a matter of getting there. It's not a matter of getting there before you, but a matter of getting there together in Christ consciousness. It is, shall we say, not a race to get there. You do not have to race to get to the finish line. Just know that you are on your path that your soul and oversoul has chosen before your incarnation to be on. There is a reason, beloved, that you yourself are here doing our work as a family. There is a reason that many upon your planet do not, shall we say, understand you, because they want to proceed from fear and separation and illusion. But this is fine, dear one. All one need do is extend peace, love, and light to them on their spiritual journey, and let them go and be done with it, as they say. Does that make sense for you?
Yes. And I just had an eagle fly by my window.
Of course you do.
A beautiful eagle flew by my window just now.
And that is an eagle of peace, dear one, that we have brought to you in your attention now, because we send you nothing but peace, light, love, and happiness along your journey and along your ascension path, that what you have chosen, like many of your beloved brothers and sisters have chosen at this time, dear one. And we wish to thank all of you for allowing us to speak to this, our beloved, to honor that which you are, as we are but one, to honor your beauty, your grace, your peace, your truth, and your oneness, for we are all one in the Father, Mother, God. And we wish this planet to grow and evolve into the light and love, for I am the Son. I am he who, with my sword of truth, came forth in a time of darkness upon your planet, many, as you would say, lifetimes ago, to give the truth, to give the knowledge that one has within oneself. I am no different than you, precious ones. I am just as you are. We are all equal. We're all the same. The ability that I have as one Yeshua to tap into Father, Mother, God is the same ability that all of you have. One need not come to me and go, I need you to talk to God for me, because you can do it yourself, dear ones. And this is the point of your ascension. This is the point of your meditations and prayers. And this is the point of your, should we say, darkness inhabiting your planet, for you to shine your light and love upon it. and to help us obliterate it, dear one. For you are not in this fight alone. We are all one, standing behind you and in support of you. And we are indeed with you always, dear ones. And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yeshua. Thank you, Mikala.
I said, how'd it go?
Good. So you can't, so just so you all know, when Mikala comes back in, she has no idea what
I have
just
no idea
happened.
what.
Yeah,
I don't
she has
know.
no idea what happened.
Not a clue. Not a clue. So
You're
don't
gonna
you?
watch the recording later and you'll find out what you said.
Well, I didn't say it. He said it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
what he said.
yeah. So just take what resonates and leave the rest. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yep.
You know. But if you want to book sessions with us, you can email me if you
Yep.
wish.
Yep, I'll put your email in the description. So Mikala does not have a website. She's not a business person or something like that. You know, she just very recently started doing sessions with people because Yeshua gave her permission to go ahead and start doing that. It's
But
not something
my
she,
boss says goes. So when he says goes.
yeah, whatever he says, it's just like me. I mean, I never intended to do any of this work I've been doing since 2011. He popped in and 2010 and, you know, or 2009, 2010 and told me this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so it's like, okay, whatever you say, boss. If he says jump, I say, how high? How high? How high do you want me to jump? Whenever he tells me, you know, if he tells me go teach about peace, I teach about peace. If he says go teach about healing, I teach about healing. Whatever, you know, whatever he says, that's
Doing
what I,
his work.
yeah. That's what I do. I'm just here to serve him and to serve the planet, and be the hands and feet of the Christ here
And
on earth.
there are people that are not going to like us because we're not on the same page with them, and
Mhm.
it's fine. We can send
Yep.
them peace, love, and light, and say, "Have fun on your journey of spiritual awakening."
Yep.
Because neither one of us, and I speak for Kimberly and myself, neither one of us care about what others perceive of us.
Nope. I
They're
don't
going to
care.
perceive it anyway,
Yep.
so
I don't
let
care.
them perceive it.
Exactly. And, you know, my opinion and my beliefs are my opinion and my beliefs. I don't expect anyone else, you know, to think the way I do. And I'm going to make a video explaining the difference between a belief and knowing, because there's a huge difference. Belief, it has the word lie in it, because a lot of the things that you believe are lies. A huge percentage, I would say probably 85% of the information that people believe are lies. And so there's a difference between knowing, like, oh, you can say, I believe in God, but do you know God? Do you know God? I can say I know God. Why do I know God? Because I've had several near-death experiences and I've been able to meet God face to face. So, and I
Hmm.
can look into nature. I can look at even the intricacy of an insect's underneath of their body that's on my screen of my window, and look at that and see that that's not an accident. That's not something that resulted in two things colliding together. And now you have all these little intricate things. And the fact that my body is a universe. I'm going to do a video, I think, on that too, talking about the body is each person's body is an entire universe hosting all kinds of organisms in it and on it. And I mean, just your eyelashes, you can put them under a microscope and there's thousands of little critters living on your eyelashes, you know? So the thing is that people have beliefs and not all of their beliefs are correct. Not all of my beliefs are correct, because until you actually know the truth, you don't know what belief is correct and what belief is not correct.
We're just saying to all of you, take what resonates within you and
Yeah.
leave the rest.
Yeah.
And what we mean by resonate is what feels right with you, what is the
Mhm.
truth for you. Take it and leave the rest.
Yep.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And we don't expect you to, you know, do what we say or whatever. But it, you know, at the same time, if you resonate with Mikala and myself, and you resonate with the information she brings on her channel, and I'm bringing on my channel, then that's great. Welcome. We're happy that you resonate with us. It makes us very happy when
I'm happy to
people,
have you.
yeah, we're happy to have you. But if you don't, we're not going to wish you, you know, poorly. We're going to wish you well, even if you don't agree with us. You know, it's just, you know, we wish you well, and we don't expect everybody, you know, to agree with this. I mean, look at Mikala and I, our families do not agree with anything we believe in at all, like none of it. Like, so, you know, that's just the way it is. But are we going to wish them harm because they
No,
don't agree with us? No, we wish
no,
them love, and we wish
peace,
them,
light, and happiness.
yeah, peace, love, light, happiness, health, you know, joy, all of those good things, abundance. You know, I wish them all of that. And if they don't agree, they don't agree. Their journey is their journey, and it's not a competition. I'm not in competition with them on the journey. So, yep. All right. Well, I've got to run, and it's getting late for you. You probably need to go eat dinner because you're on East Coast time and it's getting late. So I hope you all enjoyed this information and you learned something new, took something new away from this. But the biggest thing, of course, that we said over and over again is do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. That's the
And
biggest thing.
directly from Yeshua. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Do not, yeah, do not be worried. You're going to be fine. You're going to be safe. Anybody who follows us, you're all protected. You really are. If you're following us, you're protected. Who is not protected? People who have turned their backs on God. If you turn your back completely to God, then all bets are off. All bets are off, whether or not you're going to get swallowed up in an earthquake, or you're going to get wiped out by a tsunami, or you're going to get wiped out by flash flooding, or you're going to be hit by a directed energy weapon and knocked out. All bets are off on that if you have turned your back against God. Okay. If you are siding with the darkness, if you are working on Team Illuminati, if you're working on Team Cabal, or, you know, the evil elite, if you're an evil elite, you're probably not safe and protected. You're probably not safe and protected. But if you're somebody who is living from a place of love and kindness and compassion, and you are following God, and you are trusting in God, and you are walking with God, then I can guarantee that you are protected. Anything else you want to throw into this conversation, or we're going to say goodbye?
just that we thank all of you for joining us. And if you resonate with us, you can come over to the Academy or go to Kimberly Palm's website and check her out as well.
Mhm.
And her Spiritual Girl Journeys YouTube channel and her Rumble channel, as well as our Christ Phoenix Running Academy YouTube channel as well.
Yep. Because we're putting this video on both of our channels. So anyways, all right. Well, thank you so much, my dear sister, Mikala, adopted daughter, sis/sister, because I think we've been related to each other in so many different ways in past lifetimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've had all sorts of things. I think you've been my niece. I think you've been like a daughter. You've been like a friend, you know, and we've had all these different lives with all these different, you know, interesting familial relationships. So
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
certainly have.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, being on Earth now. And thank you all for following this channel. Please like and share this video. Share it with people who you feel will resonate with it. Do not share it with people who have closed minds, who have not awakened yet. At this point, anybody who's not awake is only going to wake up when cataclysm, horrible catastrophes happen. So don't even bother. Honestly, if they're not awake now, it's the only way they're going to get waked up is a big slap on the face from God, basically. So don't bother sharing my videos with those people, because they're just going to attack me, attack you, attack everybody out of their fear programming, because they're stuck in fear programming. So don't don't share with them. But any of your friends who are open to hearing this type of information, please share with all of them. And we thank you for joining us today. And thank you so much, Mikala.
Of course, and I love you.
I love you. And I love all of you that are watching. And we'll see you next time.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Yep.